Hi guys, so I thought I would just take a little lunchtime study break and film a short currently reading video. I've been really enjoying making these a monthly thing and I hope you have too, so without further ado let's chat about the books I am currently reading and how I'm feeling about them at the point I am in. So I'd say it's fairly early days for all three of these books. I haven't reached the halfway point of any of them because I recently finished some books, so they're all quite recent starts. The first one I actually started the most recently, and it was last night. I picked it up from the bookshop yesterday with a friend in Edinburgh, and it's The Case Against Satan by Ray Russell. This is a Penguin Classics edition, and I was so intrigued by it I just wanted to start it immediately. This is a 1960s horror novel, so I'm hoping and assuming kind of in the realms of things like Shirley Jackson. If you're into her kind of books, this will hopefully fall into that kind of category. It's not like a super gory slasher type horror. It's based in mystery and suspense and more of like a ghostly and specifically religious aspect in this one. And it is about an exorcism. Obviously by this point in history exorcisms are not part of the mainstream church anymore, but it's set in a town where a new priest has just started. So we've been introduced up until this point to the new priest who's taken over from the last priest, and the last priest is trying to get out of this town in a hurry, it would seem. He literally won't even wait until morning now that his replacement has come to replace him. He is out of there at his new position. And pretty immediately our new priest is introduced to Susan Garth, who's a 16-year-old girl with a single father who has started behaving strangely, particularly to her father it would seem, and she has stopped wanting to go to church. She feels almost repelled by the building and is kind of lashing out in an aggressive way that young girls of that age and that time are not supposed to. And over the past month or so her father's been trying to seek out some help. The old priest recommended that they go and see a psychiatrist, but I guess this is in the early days of psychiatry and her father is still very much fearful of that line of medicine. He doesn't want his daughter to be branded crazy and is reluctant to take her to see a psychiatrist, although she would like to go and see a psychiatrist. He instead thinks it's something to do with the devil, and they go to this new priest hoping that he will help them. And our new priest actually seems to believe in the power of psychiatry, but I get the impression things are going to tail off and get further into that kind of murky waters of the devil and being taken over by the devil, possessed by the devil. And like I said, an exorcism is on the horizon, and so far I'm really enjoying it. I was ready to go to sleep last night, it was late at night, but still I got really into the book and read the first quarter of it, I'd say. I really like the writing style. It's pretty true to other books I've read from this time period, like John Wyndham and Shirley Jackson in its writing style, which is a writing style I really like. Yeah, I'm intrigued to see how it goes and kind of how creepy it is as it unfurls, and I'll let you know, of course. I'm then literally in the process of reading a Greek tragic play, which I hope to finish today as I'm reading it kind of whilst I'm studying, and it is Rhesus by Euripides. Now I'm not that academically familiar with this play. It doesn't seem to be one of Euripides' more well-known plays. I haven't heard a lot of people talk about it and it's never really come up in my studies before, but it is set during the Trojan War, and it is about an incident in the Trojan War in which Odysseus and Diomedes, two Greek soldiers, break in to the Trojan palace without being recognised. At this point in the play I'm still following predominantly Hector, who's one of the Trojan princes, who's kind of in command of their armies, and he has been joined by Rhesus, who's a Thracian king who's come to assist the Trojans, I believe. Like I said, not much has happened, but I'm having a real Greek play binge at the moment. I've read 3 other Greek plays over the past couple of weeks since I came back from my conference, 2 more Euripides tragedies and a Aristophanes comedy, and I'm just feeling like I want to absorb as much Greek and even Roman literature as possible at the moment. I'm feeling very immersed, which I think is very good for me and my studies, because I think just filling in the gaps and being more familiar with all the literature that's out there will always be helpful, and it just means that I'm really enjoying myself with classical literature, which is really, really good, because it can be a little bit hard, I find, to stay really focused on antiquity with all the other things that go on in my life and the fact that I have a 4-day-a-week job and a lot of other commitments, I think it's good to continue the classic strand in my everyday life by at least reading classical literature when I'm not studying. And lastly, I'm listening to an audiobook, and that is The Dark Circle by Linda Grant. This is one of the Bailey's Women Prize for Fiction shortlisted novels. I did a whole video about the 2017 Bailey's Prize and in general the importance of celebrating women writers. If you're interested in checking that out, I will link it down up here and down below. But I'm still reading The Dark Circle, like I said, on audiobook, so listening to, and I'm really enjoying this one. There's not been any major twists or turns yet in the plot up until the point I'm at, but I am enjoying it and I'm glad I listened to this one on audiobook. I think the narrator is doing a really good job. It's about a brother and a sister, but it has a male narrator, and I do really like their narration style and their voice. They're very good at it, which is really important when it comes to audiobooks. The narrator makes the world of difference, as I'm sure you're aware. And this one's set just after the end of World War II, and our brother and sister characters have been diagnosed with tuberculosis, so are sent to a newly built NHS tuberculosis hospital and meet a bunch of different people from different backgrounds to them and get to know them, whilst they're all hoping for a cure for the disease that they have. And I'm expecting things to kind of gather a bit of momentum in terms of that line of the plot as it unravels and things are going to get a little bit more dramatic, I'm expecting, or mysteries are going to come into play, although like I said, nothing too dramatic has happened yet, so I'm not entirely sure where this one is going to go. But that's everything I'm reading at the moment. Do let me know if you have any thoughts on the books I've talked about in this video. I'd love to hear from you, and if you're reading anything particularly good at the moment, then I'd love to hear about it as well. Until next time though, happy reading, and I'll see you all again soon. Bye!